Hello and welcome to week 4 of Riff. Now, this year we have been focusing on shorts that look to the future. The future, Conan? That's right, Conan. Why would he say that to himself? Never mind. We've been looking at shorts that look to the future. We've done many that do technological looks to the future. Some in telephones. With kitchen gadgetry, kitchen appliances, I should say. Gadgetry is more like a can opener, I guess. This week we're playing a little fast and loose with the look into the future thing, but I think it just gets in under the limit of what we can consider looking to the future. We're gonna be riffing the chicken of tomorrow. It's as exciting as it sounds. You may have seen this riff on Mystery Science Theater 3000, and I don't really remember much about it because it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm sure they did a great job with it, and I'm sure I can't top them on it, but I'm gonna at least try to give it a worthy effort at best, especially since this is not scripted. It's improv, so yeah, let's dive into the chicken of tomorrow, shall we? Ew, that sounded dirty. Let's just dive into the short. That sounds better, I think. Think? I don't know. Poor Lowell Thomas had nothing better to do with his career. This is rock bottom for him. Hey, don't pin this on Massachusetts. Big state film production. Didn't we already have Lowell Thomas? Wasn't he in the first short we did? I think so.
Did you know that poultry is the nation's third largest agricultural...
Oh, Gladys, I guess this is our life.
...business? Yes.
Should have gone to college.
...raised in every county of the United States, mostly for egg production.
What about Hawaii? Oh, Hawaii wasn't a state yet, was it?
Boosting the egg output of the average hen. Today's hen averages 154 eggs per year.
But we can do better.
Produce over 300 annually. But with this...
See, I told you.
...egg production... poultry meat has been more or less a byproduct of the industry.
Man, well, this is how we're going to model our rubber chickens after, right?
To develop better meat-type chickens. During World War II, the industry reaped new gains with the shortage of red meat.
Yep, World War II was great for the poultry industry. They were happy about it.
Suitable for roasting oven or frying pan. Say, that makes me hungry.
The frying pan, not the chicken.
Poultry leaders were convinced that the industry would have difficulty maintaining its wartime gains. As one...
So they suggested starting a new world war.
Food stores, the nation's largest poultry retailers, offered to sponsor a contest for the development of superior meat-type chickens. A national committee was full of the
There's no benefit to them at all.
Chicken of tomorrow. A broad-breasted bird with bigger drumsticks, plumper thighs, and layers of white meat, like the wax model on the right. The committee made plans for a series of state and regional Chicken of Tomorrow contests. To end with a national...
Oh man, look at all these hot naked chicken pictures. Oh wait, this is just text. This is no fun at all.
Cash prizes. $5,000 for the national champion.
Wait till he gets to the Chicken of the Year Future's Chicken of Tomorrow centerfold.
Of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And farmers
thick thighs on that
all
one.
over the United States were invited to participate in state contests. 2 scorecards, each with a value of 100 points, were adopted by the committee. One scorecard...
So you can get an A.
...chickens, in which major emphasis was placed on conformation, including...
Another was for naked chickens, and a third was for the swimsuit competition.
The other scorecard was for live chickens, with special emphasis on the economy of production. Hundreds of poultry raisers competed in 31 state contests held in 1946. And still more took part in the 1947 contests held in 39...
Well, Beverly, we're all doomed for the slaughter, aren't we?
...contests in 1947. 5 regional Chicken of Tomorrow contests were conducted. 25...
And none of those regions looked like chickens. That's really disappointing.
...qualified for the national contest. After considering offers from several state Chicken of Tomorrow committees, the National Committee selected...
Wait, several states had this?
...experiment station in Georgetown, Delaware, for the raising site. Late in February
I'm telling you, People complain about Miss America, but this thing's much worse than the Miss America pageant.
Each sent 720 hatching eggs to
Dad, why did I have to come? I could have stayed home and played with my friends.
Unlike state and regional contests, all entries in the finals were hatched and raised under identical
Treat us nice, boys.
common supervision.
It's that in the box.
The
It's
fragile cargo
flirtatious.
25 different states by practically every known means of transportation. Some West Coast breeders shipped by air, others by rail, and
Still others were slingshotted with catapults.
private car.
Those ones
The
that they didn't make it.
Agency made special arrangements to handle the contest eggs, and company agents gave each contestant specific routing instructions. Of the 31,680 eggs, only 61 were cracked in transit.
How come at my store I can't get that few damaged in transit in just one pallet?
For 21
Oh,
days
come
of
on.
incubation. They
Even
were given
trying.
the regular commercial hatchery treatment, including fumigation and strict sanitation. The trays were labeled.
Oh, I
with a
bleached
number
these eggs good.
In this way, the hatchery operators, those who later brooded and reared the chicks, the dressers, and even the judges, identified the various entries without knowing the names of the flock owners.
I hate my job. These chicks are basically treated like Jean Valjean. They're just a number. Just sad. Sad way to... Poor chickens. Alright, little chickies. Hatch so we can kill and eat ya. Oh, yeah.
The trays were automatically turned every 3 or 4 hours, the usual precaution to prevent the embryo from adhering to the shell.
What if the embryo wants to adhere to the shell?
Statically controlled and checked constantly throughout the incubation period by plant personnel.
I could have been a civil engineer, but I'm doing this.
18 days later, the eggs were removed from the incubators and transferred to larger hatching trays. These were placed in hatchers for the final 3 days.
Well, those chickens are dead. Get rid of them. Alright, my beauties. Hatch for daddy. Hatch for daddy.
Inside an egg during incubation,
Wild parties, I'm assuming.
the eye shows up clearly in the embryo as the first external
Ew.
to develop. Gestation is much further advanced at 10 days.
I wonder how many chickens were sacrificed so we could see these images.
Form.
Not very good for profit margins, is
See
it?
the shape of the chick. The contents of the egg provide nourishment during the incubation period.
And entertainment. It gets boring in there.
Now at 18 days, the chick is almost ready to emerge from its shell. On the 21st day, its sharp beak pokes through to daylight as it seeks its freedom.
Get me out of here! I need to run before they slaughter me!
Must rest from time to time to muster strength and recover from its exhausting efforts.
My brother died as an omelet!
Finally, with the parts of the shell held together only by shreds of the lining, the chick makes one more super effort and shakes free into a new world.
A new world where we'll be raised to be eaten.
The chicks in the Chicken of Tomorrow contest hatched on March 21st. Of the 12
After 21 days, isn't that just nice and neat?
white Plymouth Rocks predominated, each of the two breeds was represented by a dozen flocks. A minimum hatch of 400 strong, healthy chicks was required from each entry.
Yep, they have to pass a presidential fitness test to get into the entry, to be entered.
Bowertown, Virginia, led all other entries with a hatch of over 87%. White Rock flocks averaged 74%, and one flock of dark Cornish hatched over 73%. Crossbreed flocks hatched 72%. Pretty chicks? Yes, sir.
Ha ha, funny play on words, because she's actually kind of good looking. But we're not gonna get eaten like you, chickies.
But government poultry specialists like H.L. Schrader and college poultry scientists like Dr.
I don't really care about their names.
clapped the metal tags on the 16,000 birds in record time. Each chick received a band with its
Oh, that looks
assigned
painful.
slot number. And each bird carried the same
Ow!
identification
Stop it!
throughout the entire contest.
that hurts!
The chicks were placed in boxes for shipment to the experiment station in Georgetown. There, to begin a 12-week growing period, under the supervision of officials of the Delaware Agricultural Experiment Station.
Yay. Bradley's? That was a local department store in my area. I didn't know they had anything to do with chicken raising.
And were housed in 2 parallel buildings. 4 boxes, 100 birds in each, went into each of the 40 pens, measuring 15 by...
Yeah, they're not crowded at all. Don't worry, they're fine.
...were used for litter, and in each pen, a coal-burning brooder stove provided the necessary warmth.
And carbon monoxide that chicks thrive on. Hey, careful, we're not ping pong balls. Luxury airliner. I thought they were taken by truck.
Soon solve the mysteries.
What do I know?
Of troughs and water jugs. The first 2 weeks, each pen had 4 chick feeders, 3 feet long, and 4 1-gallon water jugs.
Hey, we need more space in here.
These were
It's getting crowded.
5 larger feeders with adjustable supports, and the jugs removed in favor of automatic fountains. Adequate quarters, warmth, clean, dry litter, ample food and water. That's what the chicks thrive on. And these chicks had the very best in care and sanitation.
Yay, we can't wait to die. I'm just going to keep harping on that.
On warm days, the chicks need plenty of ventilation.
I've been assigned to window opening. What has my life come to?
Superintendent of the experimental station.
Yes, what has my life come to?
Daily records on vital statistics. At 6 weeks, the flocks showed rapid growth. Cockroach.
Thanks to the maturation chambers we put them in every other day.
The feed was a special mash formula prepared by the American Feed Manufacturers Association. It conformed to usual commercial standards containing a minimum of 20% protein.
Typical, just conformist. He's typical.
And a maximum of 7% fiber. No whole grain or pellets were used.
But whole grain is the best kind of grain. You're depriving those poor chicks.
And records kept on each flock's consumption. This ranged from a high of 4,479 pounds in one pen to a low of 3,775 pounds.
We don't want any fatties in our pens.
There was no lapse in the attention given to the birds, and at the close of the growing period...
See, some of them were given 763 attention.
Chicks were ready for shipment.
That's good. That's really good. That's 762 attention more than I get a day.
7%. Remarkable considering the epidemic of poultry diseases that swept through the 40 flocks. Newcastle...
Yeah, that wasn't sabotage from the beef industry at all.
Infectious bronchitis took the greatest toll. Professor Seeger estimated that Newcastle alone set the birds back 2 weeks. Shenandoah Commercial Hatchery, whose New Hampshires had the best hatchability record, also had the least mortality.
Hey, that's that rugged New England durability there. Yeah? Yeah, you don't get that in the rest of the
The
country.
coops were weighed at Georgetown, and this live weight figure used to calculate pounds of feed per pound of gain.
Yeah, a bunch of college students had to do that.
7 pounds of
Wasted
feed
their
per
time.
pound of gain. California, Cornish, New Hampshires, entered by the Van Tress Hatchery of
California, New
California,
Hampshire's, that's...
were tops in
that's-
live weight, averaging 3
Something's not right there.
pounds. And some weighed close to 5 pounds. On arrival at the Bird's Eye Snyder plant in Pocomoke City, Maryland, the chickens were placed in feed...
The Bird's Eye plant where they'd be flash frozen.
days before dressing.
Get us out of here! It's cramped in here!
Their battery diet was given to the birds, and on
Well, you can't feed them batteries. That's no good.
was dressed separately.
Looks more like they were undressed, but
Ready for
okay.
judging. Every 6th bird selected as a judge's sample and rated for meat characteristics.
Oh, look at these sexy
Uniformity of
chickens.
size, pin
Oh,
feathers,
look at that thick breast.
and other
Those luscious thighs. That's them, not me. Just
12
be
birds
clear.
from each of the samples were packed for display purposes. Others went on the
This chicken has better breasts than I have.
The carcasses were thoroughly washed, prepared ready to cook, and subjected to government inspection. Judging of the dressed birds was completed at Pocomo, and the score of each flock combined with
Oh, Pocomo does not sound nearly as romantic as the as that song makes it sound.
On June 24th,
Go see some chickens get stripped.
visitors from Canada and all parts of the United States saw on the stage an average pullet and cockerel from each flock and a box of dressed poultry representing each entry.
Oh, that is just morbid. Put the chickens behind the dead chickens. Be like, this is your future, by the way.
Mrs. H.W.
You've had a stay of execution for the contest, but this will be you.
Best skin texture, the least dark meat, and the best covering of fat. New Hampshire's entered by Schenck Hatchery, Harrisonburg, Virginia, showed the best feathering. And
But they had the feathers removed.
Shalbina Hatchery, Shalbina, Missouri, were tops in uniformity of size.
Conform. Conform.
Uniformity of type and color with his New Hampshires. As a supplementary attraction to the program, the Delmarva Chicken of Tomorrow.
Oh, yep. That's
Nancy McGee.
that's something to aspire to.
She and her attendants rode in a mammoth parade.
Kind of a proto Chelsea Clinton.
Sponsored by the Delmarva broiler industry.
That forehead, she should really consider bangs. Just saying.
And who wouldn't? The Van Tress brothers, Charles and Kenneth, had a double reason to celebrate. Their flock, which scored 159 and 87 100th points out of a possible 200, was first in both feed efficiency and live weight.
And also, their team won the Super Bowl. I don't know, that was terrible.
Bird scorecard. The birds were developed by crossing red Cornish males on straight New Hampshire females.
I mean, you're gonna have a hard time breeding with lesbian females. I'm just not gonna work.
And poultrymen cite the many benefits derived from the 3-year program. In the words of Dewey Termolen, chief of the poultry branch of the U.S. Department of Agriculture,
I needed to know that.
the success of the contest proves conclusively that it is possible to breed chickens with superior meat-type characteristics.
And just wait until we learn about genetic modification.
Spread production of superior
We'll have
meat
chickens the size of Rottweilers.
few years. The National Committee was so enthused with the results that it requested the A&P to sponsor another 3-year program.
Please, supermarket, give us money.
State contests to be held in 1949 and 1950. A series of regional contests also in 1950.
Oh, I can't wait.
Contest
I hope we get shorts about each and every one of them.
Today, a California Cornish New Hampshire leads the field.
Hen's very proud to be the juiciest, most delicious chicken on the market.
The 1951 Chicken of Tomorrow contest will provide the end.
There she is, the chicken of tomorrow.
Type chickens
There she is,
sure make wonderful.
juicy and delicious.
Yes, sir. Make mine chicken.
Nom, nom,
Chicken
nom,
of tomorrow,
nom,
that is.
nom, 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 nom. I'm the chicken of tomorrow. I don't know what that means. And that was the chicken of tomorrow. That's an interesting little look into how we got to the chickens that we have today on the market, even though I think they obviously probably got bigger and juicier as time went on. For some reason, everything about this sounds filthy. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you had a good time with that. And if you enjoyed that, that was just improv. I could do much better with the script, and I have done much better with the script. And you can find much better with the script on my website, FireRiffs.com, link in the description. And you can check out my brand new feature-length short, first one I've done since, I think, 2016, because it's just hard to sell riffs these days. It just is. The Boy in the Plastic Bubble with John Travolta. A nice, cheesy 70s piece of schlock. I'm really happy with the way that came out. And if you've been watching these, I know I've been plugging this every single short. But, you know, hey, come on. I gotta get it out there. I gotta sell these things. So if you did see the improv version of that, it was terrible. Scripted is chef's kiss. and I've gotten good reviews on it. Well, good review, anyways. So yeah, check that out. And also, check out my Twitch channel sometime. I do when I can get on, and I admit I don't stream that often as I'd like to. But when I can get on, you can enjoy some gaming, and if I can make some funny commentary about the game I do, and a little really bad voice acting when there's a lot of dialogue to read, like in Skyward Sword. I've been playing that. Got a couple more games I want to try out. You can check that out on my Twitch channel, which is that's FireRiffs, just like here. Anyways, I think that wraps us up for this week's short for 3.